This Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Red change, down we go, racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, put it down from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening everyone and welcome to AOR's GT3. We're in Season 8, Round 3 in a very, very damp Nurburgring. It's an oh, there's crashes at the back of the track now as we just join into the first little lap of qualifying. I am Rage F1 and today I'm a lonely boy because unfortunately Saff has been attacked by many badgers and he won't be in because of his internet problems. And he's got a whole family of bees apparently living in his router this afternoon, so he won't be joining us for any of this fun field action round the German track. It's just going to be me, unfortunately. But hey, what can go wrong, eh? I've got no idea what the balance of power is like round here because I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've driven around Nurburgring, well, can Luke Whitehead make it 2 in a row? Who knows? Is Dara McCormack going to be able to actually put the pressure on him again? Alex Smolniak might be able to get another podium. We shall see. Let's have a look at the standings because I've got no idea what is happening since last time. Which was an absolutely insane round of Misano. I'm going to watch at the moment. I can't even see who we're on board because I've got a big old screen in front of me here. But I'm going to go through what's happening with the points overall. So currently in the lead, let's see, in the whole standings, I don't think that doesn't seem right to me, but it is. Dara McCormack currently leading the championship with Tinko van der Velde in 2nd place. We've got Marek Schintz in 3rd. Luke Whitehead sneaking into 4th position there. Smoljar in 5th. And then we've got Michael Tauscher. Hopefully he's back this afternoon. Haven't quite seen him on the board. I thought he was going to have 2 weeks out, but we'll have to double check. Then we've got Mr. Tortellini himself, Malinowski in 7th position. Redouin Masoud in 8th. Danila Sherapin in 9th. And then in 10th is George Boothby after what was just a very, very sad end to Misano. Hopefully he can redeem those problems that he had last time out. Luca Weidlich, Cody Pride, Matteo Bellotto, Dominic Goltz, Darren King round out the top 15. Then we got Noller, Krauser, Nick Nibbles, Samir Foch, Porsche Nils this time in all the way down to 20th. And outside of the top 20 it gets a bit messy, so we won't go too far into that, at least at the moment, but Dara McCormack currently leading the championship with 141 points, and Tinko and Marek Schintz with 133 each, and then Luke Whitehead with 130, so very close at the top. Dara McCormack though doing the job and getting himself right up in the top end of the points. Let's jump on board with some of these boys putting in times already. Looks like Bykov's getting well out of the way for everyone who's already put in a time. Matteo Bellotto currently is apparently leading, but I don't think he's got a time in yet. Don't think anyone's got a time in yet. It's that wet round here. And this is just a GP circuit, so home of what used to be the Formula 1 for quite a while, back in the early thousands, and now it's off the calendar, moved out the way for Hockenheim. So yeah, but current home of the Blancpain Series, and Marek Schintz currently pole position, just dethroned there by Boothby quite quickly. Let's see what Conor Wright's doing as we go round with the McLarens. It is very wet, properly wet, incredibly wet. How's everyone doing in the chat? How are we this afternoon? It's been a while. Alexander Irish, how you doing? How's Tier 2 treating you? I know, no Saffzo, sad Saffzo noises. He will be back next week, though. He's just having on and off internet issues, and rather than him having dipping in, dipping out, dipping in and dipping out again, he just decided just to sit this one out, and he'll join us next week. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just me. Yeah. So Black Gold Saw coming in with the answer to my question about the BOP. The Porker is Stronk. The Mackie is also Stronk. Aston Martin Stronk, in that order, I believe. Okay. And then the Bentley P1. Bentley's not doing so well, but Malinowski, very Stronk indeed, coming round and currently leading the boys away. And Lucas in second, and Alexander Smoljar in third place. Seems to be a common place for Alexander at the moment. McCormack's in my ear again. Whereabouts is he then at the moment? Can't see him currently on the grid. Whereabouts is he? Can't actually see where he is. He's not put a time in yet, at least, as far as I can see. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Weather's just the fog is emitting proper red flag. Oh, yeah, well. Finest Eiffel weather. Just the fog is missing. Gotcha. Yes, all we need is some fog, and then they'll definitely red flag it for no reason whatsoever. Yes, yeah. Have we spoken since Spa? I'm assuming we have, because it's been a triple header, right? That was just farcical, wasn't it? Absolutely crazy. I don't know why they just couldn't have run round behind the safety car for a little bit. Apparently the brakes were going off. I don't know, just send it straight into Pouon at 7 million miles an hour and see what happens. He's 23rd, okay. Perfect. And he hates rain. Okay, well, you never know what's going to happen in the actual race. I'm assuming that this is set weather at the moment. And we'll probably want to go from wet to dry. So I'm going to assume, he says, with those weird assuming fingers, pointy fingers, that it will change in the race. We'll have some changeable conditions. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the actual weather. Okay, right, so the boys are pounding round at a rate of knots already. Let's go through the running order as we currently see it, as Smoljar pulls over. He's not going any further. And then the very pink George Boothby coming round in the UK OG team, currently in second position. He's not up at the moment, but the man that is Marek Schintz. Let's jump on board with him, literally, and see how he's doing. Lovely little section here. I think we should get all track map up so we know exactly what corner we're on, because it's... I've got no idea. There we go. Nurburgring. It's not my favourite track, not gonna lie. I mean, it's okay. It's not the best. There are better out there, but who am I to judge? It's just one of those that's a very particular kind of track. Oh, goodness gracious, those corner names. Very German, so we won't be talking about the corner names this afternoon. We'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4. Apart from one of them's called Yokohama, that's nice and easy, eh? Where's the front engine? Nowhere. Marek Schintz then does dethrone the top boys, coming through with a 2:01. Nicely done. Danina Sherapin also pips to the top. Tinko van der Velde then in fourth place. What's Lucas doing? He's coming through the last chicane actually with 3/10 in hand. So we might see an improvement from him. He should go up into third position if he can get this one down. If not, it will be fourth. So let's see if he can come across the line with a very good time. He's still got 3/10 up. So Lucas Crows are coming across the line in P3. He did dethrone Smoljar, pushes him down one place. Good job from him. He'll be pleased with that, and he'll continue on his march to the top end of the grid as Luke Whitehead puts in a brilliant time there, and coming across the line in 4th. So good from him. Malinowski pushing everyone down, look, with a 2:01.5. This is a McLaren Porsche Cup here. I think because it's so wet, to be honest. There are lots of McLarens and lots of Porsches this season, to be fair. There are quite a few, I'm not going to lie. Has anyone not got a time in yet? Kevin Niles coming out the pit at the moment. Don't think he's got in a time. Bolotto, Nipples, McCormack, Prendergast, Romanenko, Verstappen, Bykov, Atkins, Foch, Terragrossa, Vanbrugh. I would say all of those need to get in another lap to go faster. It's probably the track's going to evolve quite quickly, I would say, in this weather. When you've got quite a bit of water on the track, got to heat it up a little bit, heat the tyres up, get a bit of rubber down. Doesn't get enough love, Kevin Niles, with the camel livery. He's run this now for a couple of seasons. I would say in the middle to rear of the pack, but still just as spicy. You normally get some of the best racing down the end of the pack, so he's normally doing very well. Good to see a Boatley round in the rain. His natural habitat, Goldsaw. This is where he excels. Bentley Sag. Well, you know, there's a couple of Bentleys and all at the back, I'm afraid. They're not doing very well. Dara in 30th at the moment. Malinowski then still out and leading. Smolyar is on a very good lap, and so's George Boothby. Let's jump on board with George. George is the name of the day in more cases than one. George Boothby coming across the line. It's going to be a very good time. It's going to go pole for now with a 2:01.4, dethroning Malinowski by just a couple of hundredths. George being the name on everyone's lips in racing at the moment. Will he or won't he? I definitely think he will. I think we should get a pole on. There we go, boys. Give us what you think's going to happen. Will he or won't he? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, where have you been? Are you under a rock? And if you are, is it comfy? I'm going to vote for this one. Can I vote? Oh, I'm not allowed to vote. That's a shame. I think if anyone doesn't vote yes, you're very silly. Right, 3 minutes to go. George Boothby then currently running around in the top spot. Danita Sherapin looking very racy back there with the SMP Racing Esports team. Currently, I don't know whereabouts Danita is on track. I think coming through probably 10 and 11, I think. Yeah, definitely. There we go. Somewhere around there anyway. Yeah, oh no, it's 8 and 9. Now coming into 10 and 11. There we go. It's been a long old time since I've driven around here. He's currently not improving. Alexander Smolyar's just coming with a blitzing time with a 2:01.293. That McLaren getting hooked up this afternoon. George Boothby then, he is improving. He is a 10th up-ish, but Smolyar is also improving on his time. But will he have the fuel to get round? These boys are trading blows at the top end. I don't think Danita Sherapin's going to have enough in hand to put a challenge on for pole. But this pink car definitely could. Smolyar currently leading. Boothby coming round the last corner then. 2 minutes to go. Is it enough? I don't think it is. Can be very lucky if it is. And it's not. Doesn't quite do it, but only 600ths away. So he halved the gap that he had of one. I think it was a 10th and a bit. So doing well. My bets are on Spaghetti Boy. Who's Spaghetti Boy? Oh! Malinowski. I thought we were talking about the pole. And I'm not talking about the George we're watching now. I'm talking about George Russell. Will he or won't he? Nico not in this series. I don't think he's tier 1. Nico, ooh. He's either not competing this time, or he's not in Tier 1. I've got a funny feeling he's not in Season 8, as far as I'm aware. Prentice Senior, how you doing? Your son currently, whereabouts is he? 28th, with work to do, unfortunately. But Ferrari's not doing too well around here, but his car looks very nice, if that's any consolation. The car looks very good. Julian Vanbrugh, currently improving. He's got the Mona Lisa, the Team Shazoo Mona Lisa paint job. I like this one. One of my favourites. Coming through 8 and 9 here. Don't know who that is in ahead. Yeah, Nico Chan not in Season 8. Big Sag. Yeah. Big Sag indeed. Well, the pole is very close here. Will he or won't he? Who knows? I mean, this could be for both Georges. I'm talking about George Russell. Would he go to Mercedes or would he not? But it could also be, will George Boothby be able to dethrone Alexander Smolja, who is himself improving at the moment? So yeah, we're doing a very good job down there. We were with Julian Vanbrugh coming across the line. He's 25th. Should be able to improve a fair bit here. And he does, up to 15th. Gets 10 places in that last little spot there. Very well done from him. But yes, this is where we want to watch at the moment, towards the top end. Malinowski, Smolja, Boothby, all separated by a few tenths. Malinowski flashing people out of the way here. He wants to get past. Doesn't want to have to wait. He's only coming through Sector 1 at the moment, but this will be the last lap. George Boothby's done. He has managed to dethrone Smolja, only just, but Smolja's got a 10th in hand here as he rounds, well, not too sure what corner that is. I think that's 6 or 7, so he's got a little bit of time to go in the lap. So it's all down to this. You reckon Nick de Vries has signed a contract? Yeah, word on the street he's going to Williams, to be honest. Nick de Vries to Williams and George Russell to Mercedes. I will be very... well, it's near impossible chance of Nick stealing the seat away from George, considering George went in and performed brilliantly in the F1 Bahrain short circuit last year, which was really good to see. So he's definitely in that car as far as I'm aware. But will Boothby? He won't be able to. I don't think he's... Malinowski coming across the line, beating everyone. Smolja has got the only chance here. Boothby's been dethroned. I wondered what happened there, but Malinowski's come along and pipped everyone. Got a 10th to go. He's not going to do it. It's going to be second for Smolja. He doesn't even improve. It's third. Third for Alexander Smolja. Malinowski, Mr. Pasta Tortellini himself, coming across the line, stealing pole from the fighting boys behind. What a thrilling little end to that session. We've still got a couple more cars on track. We've got Malik Shintz coming round in 5th place. He's still in the middle of the lap, actually. Got 3 tenths up at the moment. He's got to find at least that to get into the top 3. So he could possibly push Smolja down if he continues this march. He's 4 tenths on him now. It's definitely doable. He could get 3rd place, 2nd row on the grid here. Last corner. We'll drive on board with him at the moment. He's 3 tenths in hand now. He's just dropped behind Smolja. Don't think he's going to be able to dethrone, but it'll definitely push Masood down 1. And it does. There you go. 4th for Shintz. So there you go. There is your qualifying in a nutshell. Malinowski smashing in the time when it counted. Well, the answer to this was George, will he or won't he? And he didn't. So everyone who voted no, 31% of you, you were right. Well done. The rest of you, 68%, unfortunately you weren't. But maybe you're right in the other George, will he or won't he? Now, shall we say who's going to win the race? Malinowski, Boothby or Smolja? Who knows? I can't do that because you can only do yes or no. Or can I add an option? I can. Yes. Well, there you go, Ark. You've got that question straight away for everyone to see. You can vote there who you think is going to be the victorious man. Luke Whitehead, apparently from 11th. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get into the top 3, to be quite honest with you. Such is the speed of the young man this season. But 11th, definitely not out of the fight just yet. But hey, let's go through the list of lads currently. We have Malinowski in the top spot. Joining him on the 2nd row is George Boothby. 3rd row will be Smolja and Marek Shintz. 4th row, Redouis Masood and Cody Pride. 5th row is going to be... this is the 4th row. Yeah, Cody Pride, Darren King, possibly. Who knows? 8th is Tinko van der Velde. 9th is Danila Sherapin, and 5th row. And Sovalainen will be joining him there. 6th row will be Luke Whitehead and Lucas Krauser. 7th would be Ryan McIntosh and Vasily Anarev. Good to see him back in the pointy end. Ryan McIntosh coming off the bounce of a very good couple of races of recent, so he should be doing well there. Then we got Niels, Porsche Niels, in P15. Connor Wright in 16th, Andre Rose in 17th, had a fabulous race last time out for the Jean Alesi Sports Academy. Absolutely brilliant to see him improve. And then we got 18th, Dennis Latz, Jack Noller 19th, and then Mikhail Baikov in 20th. So rounding out the top 20 there. And then 21st, we got Lewis Selch, Luca Weidelich in 22nd, Kieran Prendergast in 23rd, Julian Vanbrugh 24th. 5th, 6th, and 7th would be Absmeer, Foch, and Wenham. 28th, 29th, and 30th is Kanabich, Verstreppen, and Remy Papin. Hugo Merles, Atkins, and Terra Grossa is 31st to 33rd. Dara McCormack, 2nd place out in Misano, 34th for him. Matteo Bellotto, 35th. And then we've got Romanenko, Nick Nipples, Kevin Niles in 36th to 38th. Adam DeBeal in 39th, and unfortunately, plumb last. You can see him there, just above the P of power. So he is right at the very back. We've got less drivers this afternoon. Normally we have about 40, but we've got a few less than that this afternoon. So I think we should focus on this top pack for the start to see what can go on from this kind of point of view. What do you guys think? I think we could stay on board with one of these guys and see what they can get up to. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen to turn 1, because it's a very tough turn 1 round here. Right, let's see what's going on with this little poll that I posted. Smolniar got 12% of the votes, Boothby got 24%, and Pasta Boy Malinowski got 65% of the votes. Pasta Boy Malinowski hasn't had a very good season this season. He's only managed a 2nd place, I think, is his highest. I've got a funny feeling it is his highest. Let's have a little look. Pasta Boy, whereabouts is he? Malinowski, he has had... Oh no, he didn't get 2nd place because he had the drive-through. He's got 11th and 7th. Definitely not the best way to start out your championship hopes. Malinowski, the pole down in currently 7th place in the championship. Not very good for him, at least. And then we got Michael Tauscher isn't joining us again. He's going to be losing a lot of points now, but plenty of time to go. I think we're about to go green here, guys. It'll be a full lap this time. I remember... last time we had some moans and groans that it wasn't a full lap to the final line, so we'll do that. Is it heavy rain, light rain, or is it soak through? At the moment, it's heavy. It's light rain that's going to get less and less towards the end at the moment. But the track's hot. We've got 24-degree track temp, and the ambient air temp 22 degrees with 4 kilometers an hour of wind coming from the rear end of the car at the moment. Smolniar didn't press drive. He's in the pit. You're quite right. Very eager of you there, Mr. Dr. Plague. Big Ripperoonie. Ripperoonie indeed. He must be kicking himself after that brilliant little session there. Now, that is quite pivotal for the championship, actually. He's going to be starting right at the very back. He is, at the moment, 5th place. So this is very good for Mr. Tortellini himself. So all he's got to do is get a good finish here, and he'll jump Alex and Michael in the standings this time, so that'll be very interesting to see. But a bit of a ripperoonie for Smolniar. I was looking for a good whoever voted for Smolniar in the poll that I just put up. Unlucky to you as well. Let's end that poll, I reckon. Pasta Boy, I think, won that. Definitely won that. Everyone is cheering on the Pasta Man himself. Pasta Boy, 59% of the votes. Jeez, we should do the votes more often. They're quite funny. Well, Redouin Massoud, good to see him in the pointy end of the grid. Cody Pride, Darren King also up there as well. Tinko van der Velde just in 7th place. Danila and Savalainen, Whitehead all promoted one spot here because of the incidents. There you go, Luke Whitehead's already got one bit of competition out of the way before the race actually started. So whoever said Luke Whitehead for the win, you know, Luke, go early, shh, don't tell anyone. There you go, 15 minutes, it's about to get lighter. The rain is going to get lighter in 15 minutes time. Wow, okay, we've got quick rain thingies on right now. So 15 minutes and we're going to start, that rain's going to ease off. So we're going to have a wet to dry race, 100%. Can I get 6 deaths in turn 1 for my sweepstake? What are you betting? That's what I want to know. What are you betting? I will bet 7 bits of cheese. Ooh, that's a nice looking car. Is that Ryan McIntosh by any chance? It is! In the Karimba Bimba Motorsports car. Ginster's boy, looking rather savoury back there in 13th place. I will be cheering on for the Ginsters team as always. Right, Malinowski then is going to be leading away this procession. George Boothby going to get very close to the outside of the pole. Pole sitter. Right. Okay, Marek Schintz then looming at the back there. Redoui Masood also looking rather scary. I think we should stay on board with one of these lads here. I was going to stay on board with Marek Schintz, but instead we'll go with Masood because obviously Smolja has left us. So we'll run down to the line here. Let's see what goes on into turn 1. We have gone green then. It's happened already. We've got pedal to the metal then. And out round the outside there's Cody Pride. Tortellini going toe-to-toe with George Boothby into turn 1. Ooh, that was very close. Someone almost collecting at the back there. I think that was Van der Velde getting on the brakes and on the grass there to get out of the way. Darren King on the outside of him. Looking, well, I would give him an inch and a mile, I think, going through. Almost taking out, I think that's Danila Sherapin diving up the inside there through 3. Malinowski still running away. George Boothby, Marek Schintz, all in a line. No one. Oh, that's a spinner. That's Sherapin. And it's caused a massive indulge. Ryan Chan. No. Ryan McIntosh getting caught out there. And more cars getting caught out. Not seeing the spun car. Oh, that's desperate times for Danila. I think he's the Bathurst race winner. Multiple AOR endurance winner. Spinning out there in turn 4 and getting collected by quite a few cars. Not a good way to start this. I'm not too sure who he's down with. Is that Remy Papin? Remy getting caught up in that? I'm not too sure. I think it might be, you know. I hate to say so, but yeah, not... it is Remy Papin getting caught up in that, and Danila Sherapin getting on the grass to get people out the way, and that's Hugo Merles also getting caught up in that incident. Anyway, let's not get too caught up in and jump down with George Boothby and Malinowski. Malinowski's already opening up a gap from these guys. We've got a race on, I think. Excuses the breakies, I can't talk forever. As much as I'd like to. Boothby then 5 tenths behind. Marek Schintz only a 10th behind him. These times kind of eking out one and the other here. Cody Pride is under a lot of attack from Redoui Masood at this stage. Look at Luke Whitehead though, up into 7th place already. Wow, who called that earlier? Luke Whitehead doing an absolute masterful start to this race. Jumped a good few people off the bat. He's got a couple of people's eyes on his mind, definitely. Tinker van der Velde in 6th place. A little bit of a gap to him, but he's going to have to brake early because we've got lines of cars. So that's going to help Luke here because he didn't have to brake as early because he had that little bit of a gap. So he's going to close in onto the back of Tinko. And that's the fight we were talking about just ahead. Redoui Masood and Cody Pride getting incredibly close. Boothby looks like he's under attack by Schintz here. Lots of Porsches indeed. It's a porker sandwich. I think there's a bit of contact there with Masood and Pride. Okay, let's have a look at that weather then. We've still got 15 minutes until that weather's going to change. Let's keep an eye on that little box in the top right to see when we do have some changes, because it will flash up there and we'll be able to find out when that next bit of weather's coming in. I think we're going to go dry quite quick this afternoon. It seems to be quite a lot of wind. That weather slot must be in there. If we go from wet to dry quite quickly. Luke Whitehead then, 7th position. 5 tenths from Tinker van der Velde. He's not going to get it done through the section that we're in now, 8 and 9. It's just too tight and twisty. I'm going to have to wait until a little later on, I think. She's a big un. She's a big un. It's not an hour. This one's the mid-season big boy. Got a 90-minute. So that, I think, means you can refuel. I've got a funny feeling. Heiko! Heiko! Can you confirm that for me, that there is refueling, please? Poor Remy, getting crashed out every race. He's not had a good start, has he really, Mr. Papin? Season Season 7 Tier 2 champion, Remy Papin, unfortunately down at the back of the pack. I wonder how Smolyar's getting on. I might have to just touch base with him, starting from the pit lane. He would have definitely been given a lifeline with that little accident that happened in turn 3. Oh, there's a fight going on towards the top. Look, you can see Boothby getting very close to Malinowski. Malinowski is on the proper racing line, really. I don't know what Boothby's doing. Is he protecting himself against Shintz? He is. There we go. That's who we saw racing ahead. Boothby then going defensive, trying to keep the 64 Pork boy just behind him. Rip 100 metre board, exactly. Ripper-Rooney. Don't need those anymore. And see Luke Whitehead just looming on the back of the picture here. 7th position for him still. What was the question? Fueling. Do they have to? Are they allowed? It's a 90-minute one, so are they allowed to fuel? Can't remember. I like it. I called to the hiker, and he knew exactly what I wanted. His little ears pricked up like a rabbit. There's Cody going very wide there. It's going to be under attack for Redoui Masood, I think, into 8 and 9 if he's not careful. Tinko flashing his lights there just further back. Sorry if I'm just focusing on this top pack. It's very, very wet out there, and I don't want to miss any kind of action if it happens at the top end, because 9 times out of 10 we do miss it, and everyone blames me. Never mind. Fueling allowed, changing tyres allowed. You don't have to change tyres, but you do have to stop once. I thought so. It's allowed, but not mandatory. And that's Danila Sheripin moving out of the way for the top boys. That is very depressing. Danila, I wouldn't be surprised, pulls in the car and retires at some point this afternoon. Marek Shintz getting very close at this point in time. Most cars can't last 90 minutes without refueling, unless you're a Bentley. Am I right, Black Gold Saw? Am I right? Yeah, at least a litre or so. You might as well do a little splash and dash. A little stop and pop. Got any battles going on further down? I'm not sure we do. They'll come in kind of in a little tango towards turn 1. No one jumping up the inside of anyone at this stage. Anwar Rose looks like he's getting spicy with some boys behind. I think that actually was Bykov having a little bit of a bad couple of corners there. Getting caught out, and lots of people overtaking. One person who's doing very well in this race, that's Kieran Prendergast, up into 15th position, having an absolute blinder this afternoon. Very well done. Just about to go up the inside of Mikhail Bykov, if you can get the nose in there. No, didn't quite get enough of the car up the inside, but never mind. Is there even a Bentley in this race? There is. There is a Bentley. It's towards the back. I think Verstappen is the first Bentley in this one. Yeah, a little bit of a gap for the Bentleys. Right, let's see what's happening a little bit further down the race. See if we've got any movement from anyone here. There's a real big line of cars. Goodness, who is this? This is Prendergast back to Vidalik, Anarev. No, sorry. It's, who have we got there? There's Bykov, Prendergast, Latz, Wright, and Canna Beach. Right, I don't think we've got any movement just yet. Canna Beach is looking rather racy. You can see Luka Vidalik in the FTW just behind, but not doing too well this afternoon. 19th place is all he can muster. There's a huge line of McLarens, and lots of flashing going on there from Kieran Prendergast. Not too sure what he's trying to get off his mind. Let's just jump behind him. As you see, Dennis Latz and Conor Wright all vying for position. Latz hard on the brakes. Oh, the inside of Prendergast. So he's just about got that done. Oof, that was a bit of a yeet and a half. BP Racing. Kieran Prendergast having to defend hard into turn 1. Turn 2 and 3 are not much better. That's Dennis Latz off the track trying to get past Kieran at this stage. This is definitely going to help Conor Wright and Canna Beach behind. Crazy boys. Ooh, Conor Wright avoiding action, and Canabeach is going to want a piece of that. Up the inside. Going to get that done through 5. Nicely done. Right, so that definitely helped Canabeach make a move. And Conor Wright then paying the price, unfortunately, for Dennis Latz's slight indiscretion. But such is racing. I'm sure he'll have another go at it. Kieran Prendergast then up 15 position. Wait, he's up to 15th. That's 10 positions improvement, I think. Right, let's see what's going on towards the top end again. Almost a second from Malinowski, Boothby, Manic Shintz. They're all running away at this stage. Darren King then in the pack just behind. King, Whitehead, Tinko van der Velde. And Whitehead's getting very racy by the looks of things. Getting right up the back of van der Velde. It's going to be a matter of time before the 21 is going to put a move on the 66, I think. And as Darren King yeets in up the inside through turn 1. Oh, that's Tinko getting slightly offline. Darren King yeets him into the last corner. Little tap onto the rear of the end of the car. Not too sure what King could have done there, but Tinko van der Velde is going to pay the price for that. I think Darren will get a penalty. It could be seen as a racing incident because he had a little bit of a wobble. It wasn't really much Darren King could have done. And then Dal King, unfortunately, having a little bit of contact. And Luke Whitehead getting past Cody Pride, getting into a little bit of an upset by the looks of things with Redouin Masood. And Luke Whitehead definitely benefiting then. Up to 5th place for Luke Whitehead. That's 5 places. Technically 6. 5 to go. You always have to leave a space, definitely. Luke Whitehead doing a brilliant job this afternoon. He's got Redouin Masood, then he's got to catch the main pack of Manic Shintz, George Boothby and Malinowski. He's not got far to go, and he's right up there in the top spots. Luke for the win. I don't know. He's got to get past the number 1 here. He's doing a great job at least. 2 teammates then, running behind each other. Whitehead and Cody Pride. 21 and 151. And he's got Darren King behind him. Same old Dow King. I don't think it was really his fault there. As much as the memes provoke the memes, I don't think it was really his fault at that point. It was like Van der Velde just got slightly out of it. I'm not too sure. He's falling down to 15th place. It'd definitely be a penalty coming his way if they think that he was at fault there, but it's a little bit like a... Tinko's raging. Oh, Tinko. Never mind. I didn't see what actually offset the car at the beginning of that little exchange at the end of the lap, but it looked like at least there was some sort of moves going on, and Darren King just couldn't really get out of the way. He was already committed to the inside line there. If that was me, I know it sounds a bit abusive, but if you just kind of give him another little tap on the front end of the car, it can stop that spin and just almost send him round the correct way. Because you can see when he tipped the rear end round, the front end came closer to the front of Darren King's car. If he just tapped that as he went past as well, he might not have spun in the way that he did. Just, you know, a little tap and then a tap back as you go past. But he could have held the brakes as well, I guess. But hey-ho, these guys are very racy. Braking where you don't need to is not really in their vocabulary. Luke Whitehead then getting very close on the back to Redouin Masood through 1 and 2. Is there replays? Unfortunately not. It just doesn't work on this system. I don't want to break the stream. We are looking into it. I think on Tier 2 they've got a system that works with the replays, so I need to speak to them, so get you guys the replays. I'm sorry. Just on the current software that we're using at the moment, the replays is not functional. But we are looking to improve that. I'm sorry, Mr. CMP. What we will do, though, we'll double check it at the end of the race. Just remind me. We'll have a little look for you. No problem at all. King didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. No, I don't think so either. I don't think so too. Is Tinko streaming? Could possibly. Could possibly be. Luke Whitehead then. This is the race that I'm interested in right now. I'm sure there are closer ones going on towards the back end. Bykov looking getting very close to Nola. I think you might be able to see that towards the back end of this picture. Rose also getting very close to Porsche Niels back there in the Jean Alesi Esports. So we'll keep an eye on that little battle there, as Luke Whitehead does even more to reel in his opponent here. The number 1 of Redouin Masood is doing a great job here to keep 4th place alive, but I think it's only a matter of time before the 21 of Luke Whitehead, the young gun, is going to get past, and he's going to make a move to get up to these top boys. He will open his taps, I think, when he gets past Masood. It's just a matter of time. I think he's just got to be brave and pick the point where he shoves it right up the inside. I think he's going to have to do it into turn 1. It's the only real place he can put on a march. But this Porsche is so good on the exit of corners. Luke's just got to be brave on that throttle application. He's done it well here. Get into that slipstream. You might see a move. He's falling back, though, on that Porsche. That Porsche is not good on the top end, so he might start to reel him in. Right, he's going to go for line. Oh, he threw a dummy up the outside. That's a nice little move. Masood then covering off on the apex. Wasn't quite close enough to get that dummy into really working for him, but he tried. Track is drying out. Thanks for the eyes there. 15 minutes, we should have no more rain, so that'll be coming on the hour mark. And we should definitely have a change of conditions. You might see this this whole layout change completely. Luke will send it. He's got to do it at some point. Otherwise, he's going to let those top 3 run away a bit too far. Because at the moment, they're about 6.5 seconds away from the rest of the pack. And that's, it's getting almost to a point where you are not going to be able to catch them up. You know, a good pit stop could probably earn you a second here or there if you catch it on the right bit of time. But yeah, stacked against Luke Whitehead at the moment. He's got to get past Masood if he wants to keep his chances of a podium alive. Luke send inbound. I think so. He's going to lick that stamp. We'll stay on board on the fail cam. See if Redouine Masood can hold off a fight from Luke Whitehead for much longer. Luke normally closes up through this little section. Through 10 and 11. Always right on the heels. I know. Porsche McLaren, Porsche McLaren, Porsche Ferrari. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? It's a nice looking car. Redouine Masood, the H3 Racing team. It's pretty damn spicy. I don't think Luke's closer this time round. I hope he is, but I don't think he is. It's very hard to overtake round here, it seems, but I don't think it's close enough. It's just going to happen. Yeah, he looks like he's fallen back a little bit. It's not close enough to get a move done this time around. He'll have to get closer and closer until he can get the move done. Dives for the inside of the apex there on a little bit of a hope that he can get a better line through here. He's on the wet line at this stage. The track must be drying out a little bit for these tyres. Maybe getting some temperature off the tyre by staying in the wet part of the track. You might see that a bit more if these guys want to extend their tyres, because it is definitely going to start drying soon. And the only way to do that is to keep those tyres wet. Predictions for stops. Oh, I've got no idea. First switch to dry tyre wins. I don't think so. It's very, very close. If you do it too soon, you just lose such a massive amount of time. And let's just quickly jump into race control and see what that penalty's for. If anything happens on stream, I can't see it at this stage, so just bear with me. Right, so race control, tier 1. What happened then with those penalties? Would nice to know what number Darren King is. He's 38, so let's see if that was mentioned at all. No further action, no further action. Okay, so 77.56 for lap 1, turn 3. So that was the incident that everyone saw on stream that unfortunately involved Sherapin. 10-second time penalty for 56 for getting involved in that. And that is Unray Rose, apparently, that caused that incident. That sent Danila Sherapin all the way down to the end. And it's not 77, it's 777. It must be Vasily Anarev, actually, that got caught up in that in the pit and actually out of the race now, so maybe they are right. Okay. No mention yet of the Dow King incident, but I'll keep you posted on what happens there. I think it's going to go long and then switch to dries. I think so. The dry tyre will grain, definitely. The dry tyre will start to, you'll just push. You will lose all the front end on the all the grip on the front axle, and you'll just burn up the tyres. There'll be nothing you can do to save that. You just have to kind of, I guess, keep them wet as much as you can. Cool them down through standing water and stuff. But anyway, Luke Whitehead still looking for those different lines. Almost running into the back of the Porsche, but very careful on that brake pedal. Doesn't quite do it, but getting very close. All this time, though, the top 3 are running away, and the gap between Boothby and Shintz is Well, they've obviously swapped round. I've missed the point when they swapped round. But yeah, Shintz and Boothby very close. 6/10 separates there. Malinowski 2 seconds away. It's not a commanding lead, but it's definitely somewhere. King and I think Cody Pride were getting very close there, but still no movement. It looks like King's dropped back slightly. You got Krauser and Porsche Niels behind, but still no movement at the top end, and we're watching right now. What can Luke do here to make it work? What can he do? Can you tell I'm liking a poll this afternoon? Will he send it? I think he will. If I could vote, I would say yes. 100%. Let's jump on board then with Luke Whitehead. See him playing at the wheel. He looks like he's dropped back off Masood this time round. It's definitely rain's easing off. Track temp has also started to go up. Look, 27 degrees now. The only answer is send it. I think so too. Goes well, doesn't it? 3.9. It's not as close as I've seen. Masood just dancing around a little bit. Trying to off-put Luke. It's not working at this stage. Masood going a little bit deep. Nothing drastic though. I haven't seen Luke under 3/10 through the last corner yet. I think if he can get in that kind of 2/10 window, he might have a chance into turn 1. But until then, I think Masood's got the upper hand this afternoon. That Porsche just mighty quick round here, and in the wet, you would have thought the Mackie could close in, but it's not happening. You can see both McLarens look getting mugged out by their opponents. Shintz has got the run on him. He's staying with him though, Boothby, and then Masood unfortunately getting the run on Luke Whitehead. He's met almost a brick wall here. I'm sorry if this is a bit boring, we're just focusing on this one little race here, but it's quite important for the championship. Luke Whitehead, at the moment, is on a charge up the championship, currently 4th place. Redwin Masood, 8th place. They're not really fighting for points here, but Luke definitely needs to get up to the top end. And at the moment, it's a fight between him and Marek Shintz, because they're 130 and 133 to Luke, 130 to Luke and 133 to Marek. And he's only really not too far up the track, 7 seconds away. That gap is getting bigger. I think when we first joined this race, it was about 5 seconds. We've got added on a second and a half now. 5 minutes to go, and we should have some change in conditions. T1 send. Luke Whitehead looks like he's dropped back even further now. It's not happening. Just yet, at least. He might be under threat from behind here. No, he's not. They are pulling away slightly from Pride and King. King's getting close, actually. The battle behind is actually a little bit closer than the battle we're watching right now, to be honest. Look at that, look. Getting very close, but this is same car behind same car. It's going to be very tricky to get past. Look at them all diving to the wall to try and get water under the tyre. I think they're all struggling with tyre temp at this stage, and pressure. I get the feeling that Luke is getting slightly frustrated with this right now. I think he's given it everything he can, and he's slightly just maybe losing the mental lock-on to Masood that he had previously. It's slipped back to 7/10 now. That gap has doubled since we last stopped with him. But that can change. Marek Shintz actually getting very close to the back of Malinowski. Look, 2/10. Let's jump on board with these guys. What's happened to Malinowski? Tortellini must have made a little mistake somewhere. We missed that. Eyes have been fixed on the battle behind, but yeah, there's been a battle ensuing just up ahead. Marek Shintz getting very close to Malinowski. George Boothby then just behind. He's probably screaming at his steering wheel not to brake like it did in Misano last time out. Getting robbed of the win, unfortunately. People tyre overheating for sure. Yeah, definitely. Tyres becoming a right problem at the moment. You can see all the cars darting to the wet parts of the track. You might even see some cars, you don't tend to see it with GT3, but you might see some of them just dipping tyres onto the wet grass to keep them cold. Definitely see it in GT4, more so than GT3, but you never know. It could be getting that desperate at some point. You might see cars dropping tyres, but this is the better way to do it. Just get onto that inside line down the straight, onto that wet part of the track to get the tyres cooled slightly. Shintz then, the gap's opened up a couple of tenths now. 4 tenths it is between Shintz and Malinowski. So Malinowski must have had a wobble somewhere. We missed that on the actual cam, unfortunately. That gap to Luke behind, 8 tenths now. It's actually opened up slightly. So yeah, no movement there. 3 more mins-ish. And then some pitters. Possibly, yeah. I mean, I think it's still too early. I think I'll probably wait to the 45, the halfway. But you never know. Right, let's see what's going on with Lucas. He's got a bit of damage on the front end of his car, look. He's been passed as well, by the looks of things. Who's that behind? Is that Niels? It is Niels, yeah. In the PPR. Didn't realise Niels was PPR. But he is. Bit of damage on the front of the car for the 70 of Lucas Kraser. You don't know where he hit anyone, but he's trying to get past Dowking at the moment. Right. That weather section has changed completely. Now we are damp. I get what you're saying, though, in the next 3 minutes, because the tyre's going to come into it, right? Not necessarily because they want to extend, but yeah, the tyres are going to be the deciding factor of the pits. It's got to happen now. Ooh, Porsche Niels dropping a tyre onto the curb, almost losing the car completely. He's then dropped back a couple of tenths. But Marek Shintz getting very close with Malinowski towards the end of this lap. No one coming in then. Anyone pitting in? Don't think so. Marek Shintz for the inside. Not getting it done through 15. Got anyone pitting? Let's have a look. No one, I don't think. No one calling it just yet. Can't see anyone jumping in. None of these top boys have done it yet. It's got to come soon, though. Someone's going to be brave. Oh, he's very right on the rear bumper of the Pasta boy. Oh, and there's a touch. We're okay though. Marek Shintz managing to stay right with him. George Boothby's doing very well out of this too, to be honest. Just behind the boy in pink. Got a prime side position to see what goes on with this little battle. Oh, Shintz getting sideways. Malinowski going defensive down the straight towards 7. Don't normally see cars on that side of the track at all. Defended the inside of 7 as well, but don't know why you would do that. No one's going to send a car up there. It's suicide. Boothby getting so close to these guys now. It's definitely not helping. No one's called the pit yet. I think any of these boys that do it is definitely going to benefit. Boothby, if he wants to get a jump on these guys, he's going to do it next, I think. Luke Whitehead could definitely do well out of coming in early rather than late. But that crossover does take a while. It's still damp. It's not wet, it's damp. We've got to wait for that greasy period before those dries are going to come. Who knows what's going to happen here. Malinowski stretches his legs a little bit more. Got an hour left on the board. I can smell a send. I can feel a send. Who's going to come in? No one diving for that pit. We're all good at the moment. Let's just jump down to see what's happening with these boys. I want to see if anyone here is going to jump in the pit. With Luke Head Pride King. Luke taking so much curb there. No one's done it, look. What's going on with Shintz? No, still a little bit far behind to make a move. Still no one in the pit. No one's deciding to do it. I can feel a send at this point. Taste it in the air. Not quite there yet. Almost. Track temps changed, look. 29 degrees. Ambient 24. Track's going to be getting faster. Everyone improving every lap. Yeah. Got to be wet. And they've got to be, you know, as long as they're still lapping round in somewhat consistent times, there's no need to do it just yet. It will come though. So they are slightly getting a little bit, they're on the bubble with times at the moment. Marek Schind's best is a 1:59.9. His last was a 2 minute dead, pretty much, with 6/10. So they're right there. They're not losing too much time. You can do, if you like, Tim. You're more than welcome. It's just me today, so any help would be helpful. It's all good. Saf unfortunately couldn't make it this afternoon because of internet issues. So we might have Timosaurus joining us in a sec. This battle's getting spicy at the moment. Still no movement though. Everyone's playing it safe. Luke Whitehead, what's he going to do? He's going to put it in. He is! Right, Luke's making the big ball move. Comes into the pit early. Is it a bit too early? I don't think anyone's following him at this stage. No one's following him, look. Luke's taking the risk, and he has to if he wants to improve. Wants to get a little bit further up. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Everyone be looking now to Luke Whitehead. Let's stay on with him, I think, because we need to see how slippery it is out on track. It's greasy. So, yeah, I think he's seen that it's just ticked to greasy, and he's decided to pull the car in. No one else has done that. Yeah, 1 lap 2. Yeah, I think you're right, Charlie. But Luke's got to take a risk here. Atkins comes in, also takes the risk with him. Got to do something different at this stage. It's a long stop. It's a long stop. But I think it's worth us staying with Luke at this stage. To see what happens. I want to see what it's like for him to drive that car, how sketchy it is, how greasy it is out on track, how much he can push and how much he can't. Best lap, 2 minute dead. It's going to be a while before he can knock on those doors, to be honest, but let's see. Dry tyres then for Luke Whitehead, first of the pitters. Taking the risk, and he has to. He's got almost a 10-second gap to make up on the guys ahead. Look how wet it is there offline. Spray being kicked up already on the rears. It's going to pay off. I hope so. I mean, it looks dry enough around certain parts of the track. Let's watch his hands. Let's watch his hands. That's the main tell on the exit of corners and the entry. Like I say, any point in the corner, I guess the apex, you can still get a kick. Get off those curbs, Luke. Don't want to be doing that. Not much of a dry line yet. Oh, that's the scary part. Look, arriving at an apex, almost locked up. When you can see standing water on the apex as well. Oof, sketchy. Having to lift heavy there. Putting the work in is Luke. Thanks, Gav. Oh, he's out on the gravel. Luke is hustling. How you doing, Tim?
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah, not too bad.
Thanks for jumping in and helping us this afternoon. It's just been me on my own. Saffzo couldn't make it because he's got internet issues, so it was literally these boys, unfortunately, have to be listening just to me. It's a long one as well. It's a 90-minute. It's not a 60. It's an hour and 20 or hour and a half. It's an hour and a half? Yeah, hour and a half. Maths. It's a long one. Luke Whitehead's just pitted. He's the only boy to pit. Oh, there are some others pitting right now. Luke Vidalick's just pulled it in. Interesting.
Who are you on board with right now? Then let's try and have an idea of what you're looking at as well as me.
Well, I am on board at the moment with Luke Whitehead. We're literally on board with Luke Whitehead. He's just put on the dry tyres. He's the first of the pitters at this stage. We've got a couple of guys who have also pitted. The timing screens are going to sort themselves out in a minute. But at the moment, we're on board with Luke. Currently, he says he's in P30, but he's not.
It's all very strange. I'm normally the one driving this bit, so I'm having to reset everything for myself. This all feels very, very strange.
Just for everyone, this is Timosaurus. He's the Tier 2 lead commentator. He's jumping in to join me this afternoon. I did ask Arthur Kousis as well, but unfortunately he was looking after the kids. And Saffzo, yeah, like I said, internet issues. So we've got a pool of boys we can ask now. You were right up there at the top, so I messaged you. I was like, where are you? You heard my call from afar.
I did. I was still mid-race round Monza at the time. I've just literally finished a 30-minute sprint race of Monza. So
oh, no.
I finished and I was like, oh, I'll just go and double-check. I've downloaded the skim pack for tomorrow night. And there was a message. I thought, oh, okay, it can wait. It can wait 2 minutes.
Well, Masood is out at the moment. I'm not sure where he is. Let's have a look. It says that he's pitted. Had he got past Luke? I think he has. Yeah, Luke has not done well out of that. Luke is actually lost time to Redouine Masood. I don't know how, but he has not called that very well by the looks of things. Maybe just a lap too early. He's lost a bunch of time. He's actually been overtaken by Porsche Nils. You can see Porsche Nils just in front. Redouine Masood will be in front of him. And so, yeah, unfortunately, not done too well. How are these boys doing that haven't pitted yet? They're still out at the moment. Cody Pride at the moment is still... I think he's just pitted the car. Is he out? Yes, he is. He's out just behind Redouine Masood. So this is really where Luke Whitehead should be. It was a lap too early. Just a lap too early for Luke. And he has lost a little bit of time.
Is it a single mandatory stop or is it 2 mandatory stops this evening? Obviously being an extended race period.
It's a single mandatory and you can fuel the car. So you can refuel.
Yeah, I would imagine quite a lot of these boys are probably gonna need fuel. Don't think most of these cars will do an hour and a half in on one tank. I don't imagine.
No, definitely not. So you can. Oh look, you can see how much time Luke's lost. There's a lot of cars that come out in between him and where he was meant to be. Whereabouts is he now? Maybe he's had an incident actually because he's fallen all the way down. That's the end of Luke Whitehead's charge. He's whereabouts is he? I think the timing screen is a bit screwed up at the moment.
Yeah, I was also trying to find him myself. There he is.
He's 16th. It's just sorted it out.
There we go.
He was knocking on the door of 4th earlier, so unfortunately, just a little brown pants moment through 8 and 9 there.
Just a slight brown pants moment.
Right.
I say being able to refuel is probably going to be a slight bonus for some of the guys in the Porsches that are notoriously bad when they get low on fuel. So maybe being able to keep a little bit more in the tank sort of might be giving them a slight bonus, possibly. More weight, but more front-end grip.
Possibly. The only other thing that could be causing Luke that pit, long pit, it was a slow pit, he might have not fueled the car as much as some of the guys in front, just called it. He thought the rain's going to stop soon, rolled the dice, but that means he had to put more fuel in at the pit stop to get to the end, which costs you time overall. So that could be down to his slow pit. He might have had a little bit of damage that he decided to repair, so who knows. But yeah, he's definitely lost time. He should be 13th or so, obviously just on track, not overall. Smolja, Torregrossa, Verstappen all in at this point, but I think Madanowski and Schintz are still very, very close together. Look, P1 and P2 with 2/10 in between them.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, where are we looking at?
First and second.
Goodness gracious, these are some insanely close guys. And 2 Porsches.
I know.
See, there we go.
Mr. Tortellini is he's a multiple AOR champion. He came second actually last time out, I think. Got beaten by Kevin Ciclari. Oh, as there's a dive to the outside. Malinowski had to defend the inside line through turn 1. And Schintz, unfortunately, he almost got caught out a little bit there by the dive to the inside. He's not quite got past Malinowski. They are trading track position, though. Malinowski's having to defend hard. Boothby's being left for dead. And they're fighting here. That Porsche is so quick round here today, I think. One to watch for tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who comes out on top. I say Mazzano for us last time was absolutely dominated by Bentleys. It was a lovely day for yachting, it would seem. Actually, after McLaren's, they dominated. Oh, no, he's off!
Yep,
Shins!
In the gravel. I think they've gone on dry tyres now, guys. Oh, but he's on wets. Yeah, they're on wet still, yes. Oh, Boothby gets past. Good stuff for Boothby.
Yeah, I think a lot of speed lost there by Shins in that one. Don't think he stood much of a chance of defending third place.
These guys, I think, are going to be losing time at this stage. Darren King, Cannabeach, Tinky van der Velde, Lewis Zelch are all in the pit. Zelch obviously going to serve himself a penalty. Darren King is one to watch, really. Because if these guys have lost time, Darren King was only about 10 seconds behind. He might be able to close that gap. I don't think he's going to overtake people here, but he might be right on the back of this little pack here. He will stay in fourth. Overall. Sorry.
Be interesting to see how quickly he can turn his tyres on and keep up with these guys. You see, if he's just come out the pits now, Darren King.
Yep. He's behind. He's behind some lapped cars, I think. Or, I'm not sure. It's all up in the air at the moment, because that, to me, looks like Pride and Porsche Niels. So he might be in 11th. Where's Luke Whitehead? Is he behind him? No,
Luke Whitehead. Where is he? No, he's in front. Luke Whitehead's in front. That is the McLaren in the middle of that pack, just in front of him.
Oh, Darren King not doing as well as I thought he would.
So Whitehead down in 11th. So
King,
I would presume
King would be in 12th then.
Oh no, bit of a reshuffle. Whitehead's in 7th apparently.
Yep.
King down to 9th.
Okay.
But Whitehead having his own battle, it would look like, with Pride.
He always is, to be fair. He's lost 2 positions. Sorry.
That's right, I was about to say, there's all different names to normal, so I keep looking and thinking, why can't I see my normal? Goes around the outside, in the braking zone, gets it done.
2
just
teammates.
manages to keep it on the circuit.
Yep. Made the move stick. Cody Pride, I think, a little bit of a passenger in that move. I think he just wanted to, I think Luke Whitehead just wanted to get past. So next up is Porsche Niels in the 47. I think also teammate. We're PPR thick towards the top end of this grid at the moment. Track temp 30 degrees. It's a hot track. The leaders are pitting. You're right. Malinowski, Boothby, Marek Shintz all in the pit, and I think they're actually done. They're out. Malinowski's definitely out. Boothby in second position gets the jump on Marek because of that little incident across the grass. Masood then definitely has. He's definitely done well out of that pit. He's only a couple of seconds behind. And the big loser, Luke Whitehead, down in 6th place. Lost a position because of it. So yeah, not too good for him, but he's not too far away now.
I say, hopefully Luke can break away. Obviously, he said he's got his teammate behind him, so doesn't have to defend massively from him. But you know what races can get like. They get a little bit scrappy towards the end.
Yeah, he's got Porsche Niels ahead. Again, another teammate. So once he can reel in those 2 seconds, there'll probably be a couple of laps. He will definitely do it because it's Luke, and he'll hopefully be on the spiky end and back in the fight with Masood. It's a shame that he lost that time in the pit, but he's making up for it now. I think he might have fixed a little bit of damage, you know. Oh, we've got an incident at the top. We've missed it. Tortellini Malinowski must have had an incident. I just saw it in chat. Someone said, oh no, Mashek's made a mistake, and he has. Malinowski then losing the lead down into 3rd. Oh, we're seeing cracks coming from Mr. Tortellini this season. First time out, he got a drive-through penalty, didn't serve it, got 30 seconds added onto his race time from 2nd. Last week, he was nowhere. This week, unfortunately, he was running around in the lead, looking like he was going to run away with it. Now he's made a mistake down to 3rd. He's got a bit of time to catch up now. 3.5 seconds from Shintz. Big mistakes.
You can blame me for missing that.
That's
you
all
can
right.
blame me for missing
No,
that.
we all missed it. We all missed it. Welcome to my stream. I miss everything.
So Shin's looking very racy at the moment. It looked like he was closing up under braking there into the final turn. I think he may have just slightly compromised his straight line speed though, trying to close up under braking, and Boothby managing to keep a bit of a gap, not having to go defensive. How wet was the beginning of your race then?
Very.
Ooh.
Very, very wet. Chat saying turn 3 he spun. on after coming out the pit. Spun it on turn 3. So those tyres, obviously, he must have hit a greasy patch. The track's now green, so we're into that kind of period where it's a bit 50-50, not quite going as fast as possible, but getting there. I think the fastest we've seen is a 57 low from Luke Whitehead. Really quick from Luke. A low 157. Lucas Crazer, Darren King also doing low 157s, but no one's got into the 57 ones apart from Luke, as he's trying to get onto the back of Porsche Niels. But this little fight with Marek Schintz is always second place at the moment, the bridesmaid. He's fighting for the lead with Boothby. Oh, just if he didn't run it out on that grass, he'd be leading and probably have a nice little buffer to Boothby if it wasn't for that little incident.
Let's having a quick look, actually. Masood has done a 156.8.
Jesus Christ.
So he's managed to... He's into the 156. As far as I can see, that is the only 156.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's.
Although I think this might be slightly wrong, because apparently Boothby's best lap's 2 minutes. So I don't think that's quite right if he's in pole. So I don't know what's gone on with the timing screen.
He is battling with Marek Schintz that's done a 159.9. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that isn't kind of real. But they're still, are they now on the dries? They've only just come onto the dries, so they're just slowly warming up. Not quite there yet. So it's probably legit. You'll probably see the times coming in now. Probably 57 mids, I would have thought. Maybe low 57s. There we go, 56.3 was even better than I thought. 156.4 and a 56.3 for Boothby and Schintz. Speedy.
So now the track's coming to them. They've got the decent tyres on them now. This is when real times are probably going to start pouring in. So especially if this is the first time it's been dry all race. Whitehead doing a good job. He's starting to really pull away from the from his teammate and that little pack that was behind him.
Yep. That's Lucas is falling back a little bit, I think, from Luke. But he's not really taking too much out of Porsche Niels ahead in 5th. The gap was about 2.5. It's now 2.2, so a couple of tenths. It's not huge amounts, but he's got a, I guess, slow little gains here and there.
Pride has actually got past Lucas now. He's got past and looks to be trying to make a move to escape. Yeah, he's got past, and there's a good sort of 4-car gap in front of him now. So he's Whitehead might have to be on his toes if Pride sort of manages to keep his nose down and keep going.
Are we looking at the same thing? Because I think
possibly.
Pride's still
gone up to 70.
7th place. That's Lucas. Yeah, Lucas is still ahead of Pride. So was it Lucas that got past Pride? Oh, Darren King's going for a move.
Yeah, those were the other way around a minute ago, so my apologies.
Got you. That's all right.
That's me not being used to it. See, it's my fault, because these aren't my normal boys.
That's all right. I'll let you off. Takes a while. You get used to the paint schemes, right? That's why it's always good to have the liveries on, because you're like, oh, I know that car.
And just like you just pick up names, you don't even really need to read them in full. You're just like, I know that car, or you know the car number. So this is all a bit more difficult trying to work this out.
Yeah, race 1's normally a bit crazy because you know the names, but they're all in different cars. So you're like, is that Luke? What? No, who is it? I'm not too sure. Like at the moment, Darren King never normally runs around in the Porsche, or hasn't at least last time. He was in the Ferrari, but now he's in a very Malinowski-looking Porsche, because Malinowski last season had a blue Porsche, exactly the same colour. It was baby blue. So every time I see a baby blue Porsche, I always think it's him, but it isn't. It's Darren King, and you better watch your rear bumper, because Dow King's coming for it if you're right behind. He likes a punterino, does Dow King. Anyway, he's in 8th place. Boothby still being attacked viciously by Marek Schintz. The gap between them is looks like it's just eked out a little bit now. Malinowski not inside of 2 seconds just yet, but Luke Whitehead is inside of 2 seconds of Porsche Niels. So that gap is slowly coming down. Right, before I go completely crazy, I'm just going to grab a drink of water, because it's quite warm in the UK today. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, in my understairs cupboard, like Harry Potter, I am sweating buckets.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that I just done a race just before this as well, so I finished, had a deep breath, and was like, oh god.
I have to close all my windows, because I don't want my neighbours to hear me shouting about cars. So the temperature with the computer on slowly rises. It's probably about 30 degrees in this room. I'm not lying. I'm literally dripping. So I'm going to get a drink, otherwise I might faint. So do you mind? We're on board at the moment with Schintz and Boothby.
Right, I'll jump back on board with those guys. So it looks like Boothby has managed to extend the gap just a little bit coming down into the chicane. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? It definitely looks like Shins is a little bit quicker, gets a tighter line out the turn, and again closes right up under braking. McLaren pulls away absolutely fantastically, although he hasn't managed to get that straight line advantage. I don't think Shins is quite close enough to be in the slip yet, but he is trying. And again into turn one, not quite able to make a move, but really closing up, putting that pressure on. And at the back of the screen, you could just see Malinowski appearing as well. So they haven't lost him completely after his spin. I will say quickly to anyone in chat, if they're desperately trying to get in touch with me, because I jumped on late, I haven't got the chat up on my PC at the moment, so I do apologise. You'll have to wait for Rage to come back to answer any messages there. But yeah, Boothby just managing to keep it ahead. Absolutely textbook driving for the pair of them. I'm trying to keep a little bit of an eye on that Malinowski and see what kind of gap he can close up. These two taking almost identical lines. The Porsche just able to go a little bit tighter and really closes up there out the hairpin. Can he make a move up here through the S's? Ooh, he's pushing hard. Both of them running a fair bit of the AstroTurf on the inside there. And again, hard on the brakes. Got the Porsche looking really good under braking.
Right, I'm back. In the swap
Hello.
box. Jesus. Still the same. Pink in
Yeah,
front
no
of white.
change. Yeah, Shins is definitely closed up slightly, but is not quite able to make a move yet. But he is really starting to put pressure on the back of that car.
Oh, Lucas and Whitehead swapped round.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, Luke Whitehead, you wouldn't have known because you were on that one, but yeah, Luke Whitehead down a place. Must have had an incident. Lucas Krauser gets up into 6th place then. Oh dear, it goes bad to worse from Luke Whitehead. He started at 11th, got up to nearly, I think, 5th. And now he's back down to 7th. So a little bit of work to do for Luke if he needs to kind of turn this one around.
I'm going to say as well, I think Lucas must have had really good pace because obviously I think, yeah, Whitehead has had some sort of issue and has dropped back. But sort of Lucas himself is miles ahead of the pack that he was with previously because obviously he was stuck back, wasn't he, with Pride and Darren King. All three of them were reasonably close. So I wonder what has happened there if he's managed to suddenly get that much of a gain.
Yeah, looking at Luke Whitehead's previous lap was a 1:59. So there you go, he lost 3 seconds. So that to me is an off or at least a semi-spin, like a half spin. 3 seconds definitely means he left the track at some point. Maybe doing what Shintz did, running across the grass somewhere. Talking of Shintz, right on the back of George Boothby. This is, I think, hopefully this holds on for Boothby because last time out in Misano he had a hardware issue. Unfortunately, couldn't change gear. Had to retire the car halfway round from the lead. So yeah, this is hopefully payback for George as he's doing a great job. He did a really good job at Kyalami as well. Definitely one for the books, and he's leading again out here in the Nurburgring, doing very well. Shintz though is hustling him. Marek Shintz proving to be not just a one-race wonder. He's doing very well, and he's bringing the race up to Malinowski, and Boothby's doing well too. Yeah, normally Malinowski's out and in the lead and running away, as is the Tortellini man, but he's not had it all this way this season. It seems to just swapped round. The pace has changed as Shintz gets real close to Boothby as they come out of 15. 2 tenths separates them. We might see a little move here into turn 1. We're going for the helicam, I reckon. Let's see what happens from the blimp. They had to get out of it, I think, coming through 15. He's actually dipped just below 3 tenths now. That is outside of the window. You need to make a move. But Marek Shintz came very close, looking like he wants to get past. Looks like he's got more pace at this point in the race than Boothby.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, especially under braking, he does seem to have a massive advantage. I think it almost caught him out slightly there, like you said, in turn 15, where he outbroke Boothby so much that then mid-turn, he had to anchor up himself again, losing him all that straight line speed down into turn 1 where he could have made a move. So at this point, it's not necessarily that he just needs to catch up, but he's going to have to choose his moment sort of wisely and see if he might have to hold back a little bit. So he's got to run at an opportunity when he can make the pass. Because obviously on turn 15, unless someone goes wide, you're not getting past them actually mid-turn. He was very racy up through the S's a couple of laps ago, so it'd be interesting to see if he can do it again. He's close.
He's doing a good job, to be fair. He's putting the pressure right on Boothby at this point. To have someone like at the rear of your car for most of this, he's getting really close into that gearbox. Oh, up the outside. He's outbroked himself. Yeah, off onto the rumble strip, onto the runoff.
He manages to get back on before Malinowski, but I imagine Malinowski's probably licking his lips and thinking, great, those two are scrapping, they're slowing themselves down.
It's definitely what Malinowski needs at this point, but yeah, terrible for Shint. I think he, it's still, well, the track's fast, but it did rain earlier, so might still be a bit of residual on those rumble strips, because he was right out on the outside. You never know. I'm not too sure if it does work like that. I think once it's fast, it is completely dry everywhere. But he looked like he just got on that braking point just on the outside, and Boothby kept his car in the straight line, and unfortunately, Shintz just had to sail on past. Luckily, there was a bit of runoff at that point in the track, because that could have been curtains.
Yeah, there's a lot of other tracks that would have been the end of his race, I think. So bigger actual Grand Prix circuit, lots of runoff areas, so he got pretty lucky with that one, and he'll probably be kicking himself that he didn't just hold back, and because he could have just applied pressure. He could have stayed sort of more towards the inside, just stayed right on the back of him, because we've seen him be really dominant on the exit of the chicane, so he probably could have held on till then. But I mean, these guys are far better racers than me, so there's me giving him advice and tips, but he doesn't need to listen to me.
It's quite funny when you say, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that, but you think, should he?
When you've got the helicopter cam, it's easy to see a lot. It's a lot different, isn't it? When you're actually in the car, you're in that cockpit view, and you're looking forward, and your forward view is completely full of the back end of the car in front of you.
Yeah.
And you can't see your braking zones quite right. You're sort of thinking, do I go up the inside? Don't I? It does get really difficult. Suddenly, 90% of your vision is taken up by, well, for Shins, by a bright pink.
It's a lot of pink.
Yeah, it's a lot of pink. There's a lot of pink there, isn't there?
Yeah. He had to make a decision. Unfortunately, it was the wrong one, throwing up the outside of a very pink McLaren. There has been a change towards the back end. Well, I say the back end of the top 10 at least. King and Pride have swapped round at this stage. We've got 33 minutes to go. This would be the halfway stage, but it's definitely not today. We've got an hour and a half race, so we're 2/3 in with 1/3 remaining. Pride, dropping back then slightly. Let's just run on through what's going on a little bit further back. There is a little bit of a race going on here with Ryan Chan and Kieran Prendergast at the moment. Ryan McIntosh is 3/10 behind the Ferrari man. Prendergast has gone up from 25th, I think, on the grid to 14th. So it's 11 places gained. So doing very well is Prendergast. So you'll be very pleased, Mr. Prenter Senior, wherever you are in the chat. I know you popped by earlier. But your boy's doing well. 14th place. He's got a very speedy boy behind him, though. Ryan McIntosh in a Porsche. Definitely not who you want behind you, especially in the dry. Behind him is, unfortunately, Tinker van der Velde. Was all the way up there with Darren King at around 7th or 8th or so. And they did come together through turn 15. Darren King, though, hasn't got a penalty for that just yet. I reckon that was put down as an incident. Let's have a look in race control, if we've got any news on that. I don't think we do. There's been no news since there was a little bit of an issue. Yes, sorry.
Sorry to on this one. No. Change for 9th place. Salverleinen got past on T15, and then Pride made a mistake on T1 and rotated the car. So he's now dropped back. He's managed to hold on to 10th position, but he's dropped back significantly. We had Salverleinen sort of rushed on past him, and now there's back markers between them. So
that's Cody Pride, unfortunately denting his Pride.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I am really sorry, as it's not my normal night for being on commentating. I am being beckoned to go and help with the child. So.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be able to jump on with you for the last 45 minutes.
It's fine.
I do apologise. I'm going to have to run away.
It's all good.
If you need a wee, this would be the time to do it.
No, don't you worry. I'm all good. You let me get a drink, and I got out the sweatbox for 2 seconds. So that's exactly what I wanted. So thank you very much for jumping in anyway. I appreciate it.
No worries. I say thank you ever so much for having me on the Tier 1. I feel like I've sort of gone into the royal court and I can go back to my my hovel tomorrow. Oh, Pride nearly making another mistake there. Sorry, I was still hovering over him.
It's hard to switch off at this point.
It is. Right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you ever so much.
No worries.
Chat. Try and keep Pride. Try and keep Rage awake and alert. And I shall see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.
There we go, that was Timosaurus jumping in to help us through the middle part of that race. Unfortunately, it's got to dip out, never mind. It's been a bit of a bit of a to-in and throw-in. Black Gold Saw says, see you later, Tim. And Prenter comes in with a come on, son. Yeah, he's doing well, but he's having to definitely defend from McIntosh. And Van der Velde is going to go for a move up the inside of the 15. He's actually switched to the outside. There's no room on the inside. He's going to get 2 in 1. Prendergast is also there on the inside. He's going to run it round. I think he might have just got Ryan there. Ryan still on the outside fighting. Couldn't quite get to the helicam in time, unfortunately. But we did just see the end of that little battle as they still go through turns 3 and 4. And we got Luca Vidali coming in there. We got 4 cars all vying for position on track at the moment. It is really heating up in this middle pack. Kieran Prendergast leading them away. Unfortunately, doesn't get a good run out of 4. And he's going to come under attack from Ryan Chan. Round the outside of 5. He's going to make the move stick. I don't think he is. He's got at the inside of the next run. You've got Tinker on the outside. We've got Luca coming from behind. They've got to be very careful not to run into each other at this point of the race. It's absolutely crazy. What's going on at the top then? Marek Shintz still behind Boothby. He's dropped back a little bit now, but he hasn't really gained since that little excursion. Lucas is getting close as well, I think, to Porsche Niels. But let's jump on back to see what's happening with this battle, because it is heating up. As Tinker goes up the inside of Ryan Chan, I think he's going to get that move done as well. They're side by side still at this point. Some awesome battling, definitely. Alexander Smolyar, whereabouts is he? He's down in 20th position. I don't quite see him yet. He's not really kind of shown himself in this battle. He's just about there in that little pack, you can see, just coming through the last corner, through 10, as we dip through 11. There is some crazy driving going on. So the winner of that little battle was Kieran Prendergast. Managed to open up an 8th, 10th lead. And then you've got Tinker van der Velde, Ryan McIntosh and Luca Vidali all fighting out there. That's Dennis Latz at the back there too. And I think Dennis Latz almost like dipped in and out of connection there. Not too sure what was going on there. Let's jump back a little bit to see what's going on with Luca. Who's behind him? Yeah, it is Atkins. Yeah, Dennis Latz then dropping back. Not too sure what happened. We got Smolyar behind Atkins there. Coming back through the pack at this stage of the race. It's getting towards the end. And they are definitely all speeding up. But yes, there is definitely paint being traded now. Ryan Chan, question mark. It's Ryan McIntosh. It's the it's the number 15 car in 16th place with the Ginsters livery. It's just a force of habit, unfortunately. But there he is, Mr. Ryan, for the Karen Bimba Motorsports. Ryan Chan equals Ryan McIntosh. We've got our own nicknames now. It's getting to that point in the race. Yeah, half a lap side by side. Well, it was more. It was side by side by side by side. To be fair, there's 4 cars all vying for position. As Tinker van der Velde getting up to the back of Kieran Prendergast. I think we're going to go for a round 2 of this little battle here in this middle section of the Nurburgring. Round 3, we are all over each other here. Tinker van der Velde looking for space on the back of Kieran Prendergast. What a name for him. I don't think he minds. Never mind. Right. Prendergast, 14th place. Van der Velde, 15th. Ryan McIntosh in 16th. Luca Vidali is just behind in 17th. It looks like Smolyar's got past Atkins. Now we got an F3 driver coming into the fray now, so we have to watch out. Luca Vidali's going to have to make his car very wide if he wants to keep Alexander Smolyar back. At the moment, we're on board with Ryan McIntosh as he's going for the place on the back of Van der Velde, who's also trying to check past Kieran Prendergast. Riding up to the wall here. All the marbles offline, definitely not going to help you. Van der Velde is going for the outside here. It's definitely not the one. Prendergast is going to defend through turn 1. Ryan McIntosh diving to the apex. He's going to get a couple here if he's careful. He might not get any of them. Oh, Kieran Prendergast just wandering into the path there of Ryan McIntosh, and that's going to put him into the path of Luka Vidalik. Smoljar wants a piece of the action up the inside into 3. I don't know where to talk at the moment. They're literally everyone's going crazy. It's almost happened. 30 minutes just passed, and everyone's decided to go nuts. Van der Velde gets his pass then on Prendergast. Prendergast back down to 15th place then. And Tinker van der Velde gets up into 14th. He's got his move done past the number 10 man. And now it's Ryan McIntosh's turn in the Karen Bimba Motorsports car. He's going to make the move pretty soon, I think. Number 15, looking special in the old Ginsters. Luka Vidalik then getting hustled. Oh, and Kieran's off! Kieran has cracked under the pressure. Unfortunately, he is no more to be had from Kieran Prendergast. Oh dear, what can be said about that? Never mind. Kieran Prendergast then, he's gone digging in the sand. Unfortunately, he's going to go play with with Callie Atkins and Dara McCormack back there in 19th and 20th. We'll wait for the timings to sort themselves out. We've got another battle heating up with Alexander Smoljar almost round the outside. He has gone round the outside as they barrel on down towards 11 and 12. He's getting all kinds of racy. Smoljar, Luka Vidalik is going to have to lift there. He forced that way through that corner. And Kieran Prendergast is on the grass again. Vidalik up the inside through 15. Smoljar and Luka battling hard through here. We've got 24 minutes to go. Jeez. What's gone on? It's gone crazy. P14 to 17 just decided to put on a race for us. Smoljar then gets the move down into turn 1. Kieran Prendergast still looking for a move, and oh, there's been a touch! And Atkins goes into the side of Smoljar after Luka clipped him through turn 1. And Smoljar's got it all to do again with probably a bit of damage. He's got Kanabeach now for a little bit of company back there. Dennis Latz will be joining him too back there. So unfortunately for Smoljar, he's gone down to 20th position with a bit of work to do and a lot of damage. So I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to hold on to that car. But Luka Vidalik then also probably getting a bit of damage on the front end of his car too. That's not the way I wanted that to end, but unfortunately I kind of did see it coming. Got a bit spicy. Right, let's just check in with the guys up ahead. I can breathe now for a minute. As Boothby extends his lead slightly, 2.2 back to Shintz, and then there's 4.4 back to Malinowski. Redouin Masoud, 2.4 back from him. They've got a nice 10-second gap to, I think that's Porsche Niels doing very well in 5th this afternoon. But he's being hustled by the 2 PPR boys. Is a Cruiser currently in 6th place. Sorry, he's hustling the PPR boys, and Luke Whitehead is slowly reeling them in. Let's jump on board from Luke then, see if we can see any moves. Woof, it's hot and spicy from Luke's point of view. That number 70 of Lucas Craze has been all over the back of these guys pretty much this whole race. Whitehead and Niels, Porsche Niels, have been fighting all race long. 23 minutes to go. We've got optimum track conditions now. Braking hard into turn 1. McLaren versus Porsche. Luke Whitehead choosing a different line through 1. Trying to get the lines on these Porsches is quite tough. They're so quick through this low downforce section of the track. Through 3 and 4. Has anyone been to this circuit in real life? That's mega points if you had. I need to take a little breather now. Keep an eye on the gap ahead. Looks like Malinowski's made a further issue. Made a further problem. He's had a further issue, sorry. Made a further mistake is what I meant. He's dropped back now. He's 6 seconds behind Shintz, who is he's slowly catching up to the back of Boothby. He's inside of 2 seconds now. But Lucas Krazer's getting really close onto the back of Porsche Niels. Nope. Sag. No, never mind. I'm sure there's some people here have. Oh, Luke almost. See, I don't understand when drivers do that. I know they want to make, if they can make a little opening, but it compromises exit, especially such a big run through here. Definitely not an exit you want to be compromising, but maybe he thought he could have Made someone have a little mistake there. Cruiser and Porsche Nils are getting so close to each other. Luke Whitehead is sniffing a bit of action here. Oh, the 47 getting onto the kitty litter, and that's opened the door for Cruiser. He's gone up now into 5th place across the line, and Luke Whitehead's going to dive into the inside here. He's going to send it in a minute. It's going to happen. Luke Whitehead early on the brakes and then lets them run slightly. Two Porsches fighting, pushing each other out wide. Luke Whitehead's going to look for a move on his teammate, I think, in a second. Porsche Nils, though. What a turn of events for Porsche Nils. He's well up here in the spicy end of the grid now. Exactly what I want to see. Luke Whitehead is putting the pressure on his teammate. So Darren Pride saying, just got back from the ring. There you go. Told you people would have been there. How did you enjoy it? Was it good? See any racing, or did you do the racing from yourself? 1.9 is the gap from Shintz to Boothby. It's not changed. Oh, now that's interesting. Porsche Nils let Luke Whitehead past. Didn't want much to do with that fight, and he's let him past. A little bit of team play coming in there. Luke Whitehead then getting promoted up to 6th place to go and fight after Lucas in the number 70 Porsche, if he can. So I think Porsche Nils didn't want any more of that fight. Just wants to come across the line, I think, in 7th place and take the points. Which is still a respectable position, considering the pace that this race has been. Let's just jump back a little bit, see what's happening down here, because we've got a little fight coming up with Bykov, Noller and King for 10th, 11th and 12th. Darren King right in the thick of it, as always. And then just ahead of there is Honore Rose in 9th place, part of the Jean Alesi Sports team. Darren King then getting close to the back of Jack Noller. Jack Noller, a new fixture to AOR T1. It's good to have him on board. That was a lot of spray on the back there from Rose. Getting a tyre onto the dirt there. Not the quickest way round. 20 minutes to go then, guys. Not too long. It seems like a long old race, but it definitely is. They're going to run out of tyres at some point. As Noller gets a bad exit, Darren King's going to definitely capitalise on that. To the inside that Noller goes. He's actually pushing Dalking out to the outside in the braking zone. Don't think Dalking's going to have it done. He's going to push him round the outside. It's not the fastest way round there. Bykov might have a little bite here too. Oh, it definitely was a bite. It was a bite of Darren King's rear bumper. Bykov then having to take avoiding action. Oh, it almost takes him out into 4. Into 3, sorry. And go through 4 now. The GT cars were on. Seen a little bit. Was driving yourself in the North Loop. Gotcha. Malinowski's underfueled. Now 8-second gap. And Masood's closing in. Well, thank you very much for that little bit of an update. It is quite possibly that Malinowski has underfueled that car. Yeah, he's definitely dropping off time to Shintz and Boothby. And you're right. Masood is definitely smelling the damage in the air. What have we got then on the track at the moment? I think this is the closest battle that we've got. We did have a very good fight going on towards a little bit further back with Tinko, Ryan McIntosh and co. What's going on then? Tinker and Cody Pride getting very close. Oh, we're going for a move then. Nicely done. Up into 10. Still on the outside. Van der Velde is going to have him done though. Through 11. But will Pride have a run down through 12? No. I thought he could have maybe popped something up the inside before you get to the 13-14 chicane, but not enough space, not enough time, and not enough run out of 11. So there you go. Nice and easy position there for Van der Velde. Should have had more this race. Got a very fast car at this stage, but unfortunately because of the incidents earlier on, has not been able to capitalise on the speed of that car. Down in 13th place with a little bit of work to do. I don't think he's got enough in the tank to get up to the back of Bykov, but he might do. Who knows? With the fight that's going on just ahead with King, Noller and Bykov, you never know. Someone could make a mistake, and then it's anyone's business. Right, let's see what's going on when Malinowski and Masood come across the timing screens. Because this is the next fight that's going to heat up. It's 6/10 now, and we think that Malinowski's underfueled the car because he is dropping off dramatically from the back of Shintz. Boothby still 1.8 ahead of Shintz. Malinowski then in third. Redoui Masood coming back into the fray for a better position. It's probably one of the best positions we've seen Masood in for a long time. Number 1 Porsche putting the work in this afternoon. 16 to go. Looks like the gap's just eked out slightly. And I've got a funny feeling that this pass is on somewhere, but just we've got to wait for it to happen. 7/10 is the gap at the moment. It's not going to happen this time round, but it's gonna happen soon. Sovalainen's getting very close to Porsche Niels back here. He's going to have to get a move on, I think, if he wants to hold on to that position. It is also true. Malinowski could have bad tyre pressure since this changeover of set. Should really, someone of his calibre should necessarily know the full dry pressure of that car, and should have really kind of thought ahead that it's going to go optimum at least towards the end of the race. So yeah, I'm not too sure if that would be the call, and it's more likely that he's running out of fuel, but who knows. The amount of time he's dropping off and how much pressure he's getting put under by Masood, he's now kind of like on that bubble. He might have turned the car up a little bit. Who knows? I think time will tell, because he'll start slowing down even more so if he's not going to make it towards the end. At the moment, we're watching Jonas Sovalainen and Porsche Niels battling out for 7th and 8th. I don't think Niels will put on too much of a fight, to be honest. Just wants to hold on to a good position this afternoon. Doesn't want to lose too much. The gap back to Rose is 3 seconds. He doesn't want to kind of shorten that gap at all. Otherwise, he's putting his well-earned positions under threat. He's not going to make it as easy as he did for Luke Whitehead, being teammates. But, yeah, I'm not sure he put on too much of a defence. Let's see. Savalainen doing a good job here. Go for a move. Now, that is very risky. I need a very compliant car to do that through 10. Apparently, he's got that. And that's a very silly touch. He's very lucky he didn't put himself in the gravel there. Savalainen, I think, being a little bit impatient, in my opinion. And Porsche Niels, yeah, unfortunately, where do you expect him to go? He can't run off the track at that point. And, yeah, Savalainen not giving him enough space through 11. Although he was on the outside, there's not really much Porsche Niels can do if he's not got much space. He can't just disappear. So, never mind. He'll get another run on that. There's obviously no harm done. Jonas Sovalainen getting a little bit lucky. He wasn't shown the kitty litter at that point in the race. But the gap now to Henri Rose is to drop to 2nd because of this little battle. So we have to watch out. Almost might be worth him letting him go past. Anyway, Redoui Masood then 8/10 back for Malinowski. This is the next battle we want to watch. We want to see what happens. Darren King 4/10 back from Nolle. Baikov is still there. Prendergast and Latz are also very close. Prendergast, unfortunately, has gone backwards at this latter stage of the race. It's not holding on to it very well, unfortunately. Look, he's holding up a host of cars here. Dennis Latz, Wenham, Smoljar. Yeah, I'm on board at the moment with Latz, who's unfortunately holding up Wenham quite a bit here. I think it's his fault, to be honest. He's been put in that position. Smoljar then damaged from that incident we saw 10 minutes ago. We've got 12 to go on this times, so these guys want to get a hustle on if they want to make their moves. Still stuck behind Nolle is Darren King, the 38, still 3/10 behind. Still looking for a gap. Jack Nolle's doing a good job here. Oh, Darren King having a little bit of a mistake there through 11. It's a little bit unlike him to do that. Savalainen has got past Porsche Niels, as far as I'm aware. And I think he's going to come under attack here from Honra Rose. It's a really cool livery. It's probably one of the best liveries that we've got on the grid at the moment. Part of the Jean Alesi Esports Academy. Number 56, currently P9. Inside the top 10, but looking for more points. He's been knocking on the door of the top 10 this whole season, to be honest, Rose. He's one to watch, I think, for the future, but he's just behind some of these fast guys. But I think given a good qualifying session, he's definitely got the pace to challenge up at the top end, but hasn't really had the opportunity to show that. But definitely, I think, one to keep an eye on moving forward. So he's got a good team under him. If it is the real Jean Alesi Sports Academy, I'm sure it is. Yeah, cool livery, cool name, cool driver, really. 9th place at the moment, 2/10 behind Porsche Niels. Masood still 6/10 behind Malinowski. Shintz still 1.8 behind Boothby. Boothby doing a good job here. It's almost like payback for Misano last week. It's a matter of time, I think, before Rose sticks it all round the outside of 10. Not going to get it done, but he's going to cut back to 11, I think. As Porsche Niels goes a little bit deep. And much better drive off 11. He's got to move here. Looking for the inside through 12. It's a very tricky place to overtake. And luckily, Porsche Niels gives him the space, because that could spell disaster if you don't. And Rose then up into 9th place. I don't think Porsche Niels will fall any further back from there. He'll be able to keep that position. As Darren King gets himself a drive-through penalty. He's going to have to serve that now, and that's going to ruin his race, unfortunately. Right at the very end of the race, having to do something like that is definitely not what you want. Oh, Luca Weidelich! Almost colliding with McIntosh there. Almost colliding with Pride. This battle then ensues. McIntosh then, Pride and Weidelich. Oh, it's getting spicy between these guys. Let's see what happens into turn 1. Don't know where to look at this stage. Luca Weidelich going round the outside, sweeping it round, but not quite getting the drive. As Ryan McIntosh is looking for the lines. Oh my goodness, it's carrying on from a couple of laps ago. Cody then getting mugged by Luca. Ryan Chan looking like he wants to make moves, and I think that's Atkins in the background there in the Bentley, still in this same little battle that we saw earlier on. Yeah, Weidelich, Pride and McIntosh doing the business this afternoon around the Nurburgring, giving us an absolutely brilliant little race to watch. We're back with these guys after what happened a couple of laps ago. Hopefully with no tears. Boothby always does a good job. It gets boring, to be honest. Not at all. Boothby's doing a fine job up there in the lead. You know, at least I haven't seen him doing very... doing the business. He might have done the business in different leagues. It's the first time I've seen him with AOR. Looking at him doing the business here is definitely good fun to watch. As Atkins goes round the outside of Ryan McIntosh. Ryan McIntosh fending him off. As looks like Luca Weidelich. Now he's been given that free air. He's just driving away from Cody Pride. Look, so he needed to be released there. Ryan McIntosh and Cody have got good friends there with Atkins. And there's probably going to be some moves coming up quite soon. Atkins to the outside, definitely not a position you can have there. Luca Weidelich is 4/10 away from Lucas Grazer again. 6/10 is Masood for Malinowski. 14 seconds Malinowski's fallen back from the top 2 now. What's going to happen here? Ryan McIntosh looking to the outside. That's going to be your only position there. Because Cody Pride's held the inside line. Ryan McIntosh sending a dummy. That's exactly what we wanted to see, but it doesn't come off. And he's going to have to try and work on the lines through 1, 2 and 3. He's got to wheel up the outside. Don't think it's going to be enough. He's going the long way around the outside. He's off onto the rumble strip. This is a good little move here from Ryan. Putting the car in a good position, but just running about wide. Getting a bit of understeer. And, not getting a... You could see the car unsettle. And Cody Pride then keeping the position. And Ryan's actually under attack here from Atkins. Have to be careful. I mean, they do say that ACC is a game of PSIs, right? Boothby then is extended. Well, he hasn't. He's actually dipping. 1.4 to Shintz. It was 1.8 the last time I looked. Masood and Malinowski ever close. Still 4/10. Not enough to make a move. 6 minutes to go now. We're getting there. Getting to the spicy end of this race. I mean, 5 minutes left on the board. We've probably got 3 or 4 laps left, probably 3. Masood's got to really get into that window, otherwise he's got to kiss goodbye to a podium. Malinowski probably sorted out his fueling issue and has just gone, well, if I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't. Because at the moment he can't knock any more out of that engine, otherwise he's going to suffer so much. Oh, brilliant! Thanks for that, Black Gold. So we missed that on the track, but Whitehead got past Lucas. Yeah, you were right. Well done. Thanks for that update. Luke Whitehead then up into 5th. Back into the position he was before the pit stop. So Luke Whitehead driving out of his skin, managing to rectify a few wrongs of qualifying. Yeah, Luke doing a good job getting past Lucas. We missed the actual move, sorry. There's the entire Pride family in chat tonight. Yeah. I mean, Cody's was doing a good job. Whereabouts is he now? He's P15 at the moment. He's actually been taken by Atkins. Ryan McIntosh is dropped back behind Dara McCormack as well. Ryan not having a best of races this afternoon, but never mind. Dara's definitely not having a good race after what happened last time around. We've got a whole host of penalties that have just been plonked on us. Terra Grossa, Vanbrugh, Darren King and Venom all got penalties back there. Have we got some information to why that is? Oh, there, they've all come up now. Oh, Jesus. I could go through them, but there's quite a few. You can see what's gone on there. 5-second time penalty for car number 13 for dangerous driving, not slowing down for an incident happening in front. Car number 13 is... can't see. It is Hugo Merlers. No further action, no further action. 10-second time penalty for car 38. For causing a collision. Car 38 is Darren King. That was causing a collision. Was it lap 32, turn 15? That would be the little tap that we saw. Maybe he actually did get a penalty for that. Maybe it was another one. Cars number 19 and 7, 34, turn 1, 10-second penalty for number 7. That's Torre Grossa. That will be his penalty. And then 15-second time penalty for car number 8 for causing a collision. That's a big old penalty, and that would be for car number 8, which is Cannabeach, getting himself in trouble this afternoon. He is, can't actually see where Cannabeach is actually. He's right down there in 29th, so he must have really done badly out of that crash that he apparently caused. Right, Marek Shintz then currently is 1.3 seconds behind Boothby. It's getting close, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. This is probably this lap and one more. We're going to get before the timer runs out. Great drive from Atkins. Yeah, he's been there the whole time. At 14th place now. He's made his way back through the grid, which is good to see. He's kind of always been looming in the background as Atkins, yeah. Carly Atkins, 14th for him. I don't think he'll be able to get any further. He's probably a little bit further behind Vidalich now. He's got past Cody. Luca Vidalich just absolutely disappeared since he got past Atkins and co. But here we go. So Boothby then, he will have this lap and then one more. So we've got 2 laps remaining of this. Now, the guys ahead, Masood and Malinowski has opened up. It's still around 6/10. I don't think anything's going to happen round about there. Lucas and Luke, though, have swapped around again. Sovalainen's got up into 5th place. What have we missed? We've done it again. Sovalainen then up into 5th place. Lucas Krauser. There must have been an instant between these two at some point because Sovalainen's managed to jump into that 5th place spot. And that's definitely going to stay now. Luke Whitehead's not going to be able to do anything about that. That is all she wrote, I think, for that battle. He might be able to get back into the fight with Lucas. and get 6th, but he's definitely not going to get Savalainen at that point now, because he's just absolutely gone. 1.6 seconds away. It's definitely not enough time in the race for him to do that. I wonder what happened. Dara getting very close to Cody Pride through 15, and Ryan McIntosh is right there with him. Ryan Chan's providing us with a fabulous race this afternoon. He's been battling throughout the grid the whole time. He's in 16th place. And that's a little close from Dara, almost getting a bit of that Porsche's rear end. Not quite. We'll keep an eye on what happens with Luke Whitehead now. I don't think we can take our eyes off him because we've missed so much. But yet Luke then dropping down again. Luke's going from bad to worse this afternoon, it looks like. Potential incident at the chicane and Luke giving the position back. Okay. Literally fighting the entire race. Yes, he's been in battles the whole time. Poor Ryan Chan. Luke Whitehead is actually getting quite close onto the back. So we might actually have to move up again to see what happens here. Luke and Lucas going toe-to-toe. The Titans of Tier 1 going toe-to-toe into turn 13. Backmarkers playing fair in this race. Great to see. And they definitely are. Definitely having a great race, to be fair. Everyone actually, we're all enjoying a great race at this stage. I don't think these boys are going to get another lap in, though. It's gone 0. Will they get another one? I think they will, because they've not been lapped. So they're still in the lead at the moment. So Boothby then, he's got to be going around at a rate of knots. He's probably in the middle section at this stage. We don't want to miss him coming across the line for potential shenanigans going on with Luke Whitehead and Lucas Crozer battling out for P6. Boothby then is on the 45th and last lap ahead of Marek Schintz. He's actually going through, I think, 8 and 9 section, roughly around there. So he'll be coming through quite quickly to claim the win that's eluded him. So yeah, very good job from him. Masood also right on the back of Malinowski at this stage, almost getting the run. You never know, anything can happen. And then obviously you've got this little battle going on still with Luke Whitehead and Lucas Krauser. And then Jack Noller was right in the fight there. I think with Porsche Niels, he's falling back even further. He's got Baikov and Tinker van der Velde for company now. That's definitely not what you want, as Porsche Niels getting mugged out of the top 10, unfortunately. He'll be in 10th, though he's just inside the top 10. Right, the stick with George Boothby then as he rounds the last corner. Turn 15, blast down towards the finish line. That's job well done for George Boothby. Redemption for last week's DNF, unfortunately for him. He's going to get maximum points. Marek Schintz is probably going to be the new championship leader, coming across the line in second. Malinowski holding on and holding off Masood, who looks like he's dropped back a fair bit from Mr. Tortellini. A fair bit, actually. Yeah, real huge amount. So he, 11 seconds. I wonder what happened to Masood. He might have gone for a lunge at some point. He might have lost places to someone else there. I don't think he has, but he'll be happy with a 4th place there. Redmond Masood. Good to see him up at the pointy end of the grid. And then Savalainen, the man of the hour, managing to get a very good finish there. Luke Whitehead and Lucas Krauser coming across the line in 6th and 7th. Honore Rose will be very happy with an 8th. Jack Noller coming across the road. He's had a real hard fight with Darren King and co back there. Tinker van der Velde and Porsche Niels holding on to 10th place. Very well done for him. Unfortunately, he's looking at a very good finish, but never got it at the end there. We've got Baikov and Luca Weidlich coming across the line in 12th and 13th. And Callie Atkins, really well done for him in a Bentley, coming across the line in 14th. Cody Pride, oh, well, that's Ryan Chan backwards. That's definitely not what you want to see on the last corner. Ryan McIntosh getting mugged by quite a few people there. Coming across the line somewhere. I have no idea where. And that kind of leads us through the top 10. We've got Dow King 9th, Dennis Latz 20th, Connor Wright 21st, Prendergast 22nd, Venom, Torregrossa, Vanbrugh, Papin, Foch, all coming across the line together. Zelch also coming across the line. And then we've got Kanabich, which will be the last man, who is just coming through 15 now. I think he'll be the last guy that we've got out there that is going to come across the line. What a fight from these guys this afternoon. Winning that fight, though, was George Boothby. Really, really, really good job from him. Managing to not put a foot wrong, really. There was a brilliant fight there in that middle section involving Ryan McIntosh, Kieran Prendergast, and Luca Vidalik, and a couple of others that elude me. But wow, what a race! What a race we've all been savvy to see. We've all been treated to a real fun little battle in the mid pack this afternoon. A little bit of banter going on towards the back, but nothing disastrous. Right. So we see if we can have a chat with some of these guys who came across the line towards the top end. See if we can have a little chat with our top 3. Anyone wants to jump in, if they're listening, they can do. See if we've got anyone rating for a chat. We do! We have Tortellini, I think, just about to come in. Mr. Malinowski. Battles throughout that pack. Coming across the line in 3rd place in the end, right? What happened in the middle after your pit? You seem to have a little incident in turn 3, causing you to lose the lead. That definitely wasn't a part of the plan.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a part of the plan, but the plan itself was bad, so it wouldn't really make a difference, because you can see how fast both B and Shins were in the second part of the stint.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they would get past no matter what in 45 minutes, because with limited practice, at least from my side, I was just prepared for big rain. And it's not like I wasn't prepared for the dry, but I actually don't have any wet setup for the Porsche, so I had to just create something on the fly in the practice session that we had, and I just didn't want to risk it, like putting on the dry setup at the start, even though I knew it's gonna dry out. But I didn't want to risk it, and unfortunately I paid the price, because full wet setup in the second part of the stint was so bad. Plus, I overfueled the car, I overpressured the tires, so the second part of it was just painful, miserable, and pathetic. But the first part was really fun. Both George and Marek were pushing. Tires were overheating, but it was fun. I planned to go as long as possible, so I actually took full tank of fuel at the start of the race. Because you just don't know what the weather is gonna do. It could dry out in half an hour, it could dry out in an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So I was prepared for everything fuel-wise. I don't know what guys behind me were running, but possibly that could have slowed me down a little bit in the first stint as well, and made me defend. But to be honest, they also could have been just on full fuel and maybe had a little bit more better tire pressure or something like that. Well, I don't know. I just had a car for full wet, and in the wet, sometimes if you don't get the step right or pressures right, you're just gonna suffer, and that was unfortunately the case for me. Yeah. But overall, the race was fun.
I mean, it was great fun to watch. The top 3 just literally swapping around pretty much all the time. It was yeah, lots of people calling that you had problems with fuel, and then you had problems with tires, with pressures. We were trying to call it ourselves to see what the issue was. But yeah, I think probably a mix of everything, including setup as well, not being dialed in, not being dialed in towards the end. But I mean, look, you got yourself some points on the board. It could have gone a lot worse. Like, look what happened at Kyle Army. So you know.
Don't even remind me of the.
I'm sorry. But hey, look, you're back at the pointy end, and that's what you need for the championship. It's now back on track, right? So you got some good points in. But unfortunately, Marek Shint's also got a very good finish. So unfortunately, he's not here for a chat. But one man who is here for a chat is George Boothby, getting a very good win. So we're going to drag him in.
GG.
George, well done. Congratulations. Please don't swear. Redemption for last week and the issues that you had with your... I'm assuming it was your steering wheel with your gear shifters. There was an issue, caused you to have to retire early from the lead. And now you've come back and you absolutely smashed it. Managed to not make a mistake where everyone around you did. Congratulations on a win.
Thank you. Yeah, I was so disappointed last week because, my wheel just disconnected and I couldn't do anything on my buttons, and I had no force feedback. And the only way to fix it was to close the game. So it was just, I was so disappointed because I had the undercut. The undercut that Luke managed to pull off. I was ahead of him, so I would have been able to pull it off, even more so. So I was so upset. I was glad Luke won though, because he drove an absolutely amazing race. But I was like, what could have been? Yeah. So coming into this race, I was just. I didn't know what to expect with the conditions, and that was, say, one of the most wild races ever. So, Shins kept me honest for the whole thing. I think Mache dropped off a little bit. Maybe he's set up because obviously it went from wet to dry.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, Shins definitely had the pace on me. I just
Did he
made
just?
a few mistakes, just a few mistakes, and I was literally in qualifying mode for about 40 minutes there.
Yeah,
we managed to hold on.
The pressure he's putting you under for a majority of that race was just, yeah, titanic pressure. It was huge amount of just constant. He made a few issues when he was fighting with Malinowski, Mr. Tortellini.
Yeah.
He went off onto the grass. I think if he didn't make that run onto the grass, he might have got out ahead when Malinowski made his mistake just leaving the pits. And it might have been a different story, but hey, look, it didn't end up like that, and you held him off, you held that gap. Which was good to see. Apparently, the chat saying that your reaction to the win was actually was precious to see. But hey, man, good points and redemption from last week.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
No worries.
This is probably the best league I've ever been a part of, and it's only like 3 rounds in. It's just the competition's crazy. The amount of people that show up to every race as well, like it's just. I'm absolutely loving it, so
good.
Looking forward to next round, man.
Yep, it carries that prestige, and the boys want to win. You know, you might not get all the prizes in the world for taking part in AOR, but it has that ring to it. Hey, you get a pair of socks. See, there's a pair of socks up for grabs. Exactly, they're great as well. I've got a couple of pairs.
It's not even Christmas.
I know, right? You get a couple of pairs of socks. You don't even have to pay for them or throw them away. It's great. Anyway, thanks very much for jumping in and having a little chat. We're going to move on and have a little chat with your fierce competitor, Mr. Marek Shintz. We're going to drag him down now. Marek, it didn't work out all your way. You had a couple of excursions across the grass, and unfortunately George did kind of keep it in front of you, but you kept him honest.
Yeah, was a little bit unfortunate. Did a few too much mistakes, and yeah, really the mistake that cost me the win to win today was the one in turn 5 where I wandered all across the grass and had to cut the chicane, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the one we noted, and we said, look, if you didn't make that mistake, because at the time that you made that was around the pit kind of area, and that was probably the worst time to make it. Unfortunately, I think it meant you lost that kind of position to George.
Yeah, that's very true, but great job by George as well. He did such a good job in the McLaren. I really thought his tires would give in at some point, but he did such a great job at managing it.
Yeah, to be fair, I think your pressure that you put him under, I think he pulled something out of the bag, but he sounded a bit knackered. Is it hard to keep that pressure up? From behind when you're following? I guess it's the easy part. Well, I use that term loosely. You guys are aliens. It's the easier thing to follow, right? So are you just looking for little areas where he makes mistakes, or are you just hoping that the tires just fall off?
Yeah, I was just hoping that his tires would maybe fall off, or maybe a little slide here and there, so I could catch up a bit. And yeah, it was really not easy to keep up the pace. I had to really 100% push every lap.
I mean, you were so close, but I think looking at the standings, you're probably going to be getting a big old bag of points today. Whereabouts are you at the moment? You're third. I'm pretty sure you're going to take the lead of the championship now. Yeah, I don't think anyone around you really got the massive amount of points that you did. Malinowski will probably join you up there towards the top. Luke Whitehead didn't have he had a good race, but he didn't have as good a race as you guys did. And Tinker van der Velde, Dara McCormack also didn't. So I think you're probably the new leader of the championship. So how does that feel? There's a bit of pressure.
It feels really good to be leading after 3 races, and I don't really feel the pressure right now because there's still so many races more to go in the season, and really anything can happen. So,
yeah, I mean, there's plenty more action to come. We've got Snetterton next, a tight and twisty track, and we're off to Zandvoort, which should sort the men from the boys. But hey, guys, look, everyone, first, second, and third. Epic job. You kept the whole chat full on engaged the whole time. There was real good racing to see throughout the whole pack, to be fair, but for 1, 2 and 3, great job, guys. Off to, like I say, Snetterton next time around for a normal hours race, not a 90-minute one. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Take care.
No worries. We'll see you all later.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No problem at all.
See you.
Right. So, there we go, guys. We got another round down. We're into round 4, like I said, for next week. We're around Snetterton, and I think we have a break before we go to Zandvoort and Suzuka, Monza and Spa to finish off the season. 8 races in Season 8. Well, there's normally only 8 races. So yeah, it's a short season, but it packs a punch with the amount of battles and incidents that we get. So these guys have been absolutely brilliant today. And yeah, well, there we go. We'll end it now. And you can join us tomorrow for Tier 2, which will involve, as we had a little bit of him anyway, Timosaurus will be here with Architeuthis for Tier 2 from 7:30. They'll probably stream from 7. You can jump in and keep them company until they go live at 7:30. And then they'll do the same again, 90 minutes around Nurburgring. It's probably the same kind of weather, but it's Tier 2, so you're going to get loads of thrills and spills. See if, I'm sure, is Alexander Irish taking part this time? I'm sure he is. Cheer him on. I'm going to leave now because it's been a long one and I'm knackered. So I'll see you next week, guys, for Snetterton and some English craziness. See ya.